Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Oops. My dog's running over the camera in here. Hey, I just want to say that I really appreciate everybody's suggestions and comments. I had no idea there was that many people out there that had all this good information. And well, actually I did, because the people that seem to follow my channel day to day, they're always coming up with good suggestions, and I really appreciate it. And I've got a lot of good stuff here to start toward my goal of getting this thing running right. The first thing that I'm going to do is the easy thing, and that's going to be change the coil. And let me show you what I did when I was building this bike. Okay, let's go up here to the bench. This is what I've got. Motorcycle coils. This is what I've got in here. And you know, I didn't even think about it. And after several people talked about that it had to be a electronic ignition coil, which I don't know, probably had 10 different people that say that, hey, is everything matched? And it's not. The two pieces, the CDI box and the coils on the stator are matched. They're for the same bike. I didn't really think about the coil, and I don't know which one is which. I did look in here and I found this one. It's a universal, which I hate things like that, but it says it's for 6 and 12 volts. How can that be? Points or CDI, made in India. So that's the only thing that I know of that I can try without just ordering something that says or that came off of a YZ. And I've looked at that, and it looks like thing from about 74 to 93, I believe, is what I saw. YZ 125, YZ 250, YZ 400, all those should fit. But right now I've got this one. I've got to put a boot on it, and I'm going to try that. I just, you know, when people started saying that, it jogged something in my brain, and I think that I had seen something like that before, but I didn't think about it. So I really appreciate everybody's input. And right now we're going to get this coil prepped here and just see if we can get it to do what we want it to do. Otherwise, if it doesn't work, I don't know what any of these really come off of. I just go to my box, I pull out a 6-volt coil. Usually here it'll say like the F6. 6 tells me that's a 6-volt. Some of these actually they look like they have like date codes or something. I see a 78 F8 or something right here, and this one I see a 87 something down there. So I just don't know. I don't know what this stuff come off of. I've got 6 and 12 volt Suzuki and Yamaha, things that I usually work on. I always keep coils. Very rarely do they go out, but I always keep them. That's not something that I sell on eBay or anything, because you know, you just need them from time to time. But anyhow, we're going to take this one over, get it mocked up on there, and see if we can get things to change, you know, the way the bike operates. Okay, I'm just going to mount this up here temporarily, and I'm just going to set it right here for right now. I'm going to put a little star washer. I've got a threaded insert in here, so I'm going to put a little star washer underneath it here, just so we make sure we get a ground. Oh my, That's a smaller hole. That may not work because I think this is a 6mm. Yeah, it is. Okay. Looks like maybe I can go here. All right, let me regroup a minute. Okay. Yeah, these are smaller, so 5mm through here, and I'll just put a star washer on the back so that we know we're getting the ground. And this bracket up here for the ignition switch is 5mm, so I should be able to just utilize it. Oops, I need one other thing. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm just picking up my kill switch wire right there, and I'm going to add that let's see, is that, no, I've got a, yeah, I'm just going to add that down here. I don't think I really need this because it's, yeah, we've got it made, so we're going to use it. If nothing else, it'll give us another ground, another good ground. All right, and this is like super long, but we're just going to put one on it temporarily. Just going to go ahead and screw that into the end of it there. All right. There's spark plug back in there. And I have got to make another jumper to get from here to here. So let me put that together real quick. Okay, I should be able to just jump this wire from there to here. Okay, so we'll, I think I gotta get some fuel, but yeah, I'll get some fuel, I'll get this back down, and we'll give it a good old college try. My little homemade gas can filled up here. Should be plenty. Okay, hopefully I got everything hooked back up. Let me get my ear defenders here. And I move this back down just kind of at an eyeball space for the 2 millimeters. Should be close. I guess better turn the fuel on. I'm not seeing any big difference there. All right, I'm just gonna check it here. It's off a little bit, so I'm just gonna, and it's actually off retard, looks like, so we'll move it up to where it's supposed to be. Right there. And just to let everybody know, I do have a degree wheel and do use it occasionally. I'm not satisfied at this point that that's something I need to do, because that's more, you're talking more about port timing. We've already verified that the engine is, it runs. I just don't know. At this point right now, I don't think I need to get a degree wheel out, but we may. But it's, you know, that to me is more port timing when you're, of course that is associated here too, but you know, my dial indicator is telling me that they're saying this engine, Yamaha saying this engine is designed to run at 2 millimeters before top dead center. So right now this is kind of where I want to go, but you know, when we go on and we don't have solutions, then we have to get into anything that, you know, we've got to try to find a solution. That's the bottom line. So we're not going to rule it out, that's for sure. All right, let's give it another shot. No real change. This is another Yamaha coil. It's a later, what I'm thinking is a date code. Still no change. Yet another coil. This one is designed a little differently, and it seems to even be a later date code, so I'm not real sure. It's got this little area here that the other ones didn't have. I don't know what they come off of. All right, guys, I think it's going to be something simple like the coil, and I just don't have one. Or, you know, I had the universal one, but I don't put too much stock in those things. I'm going to go ahead and degree this thing out, and I'm going to put my piston stop in here, and I'm not going to pull off the other side to turn this thing. I'm just going to operate it by the wheel, and you know, it should get me close. We all know it ain't right, but what I've done here is I have marked the flywheel or the rotor where the line is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my degree wheel on, and we'll set it up, and then we'll get the dial indicator up there and see how far off it is, if it is, and well, we'll double check it. That's what we're doing. Okay, so I've got my flywheel marked so I can kind of see it from behind this, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick this thing on here. Okay. I'd like to get that kind of close to my zero. Okay. Now, let's see here. The the engine runs this way. I've actually marked it right here on the little cap. That's the direction of rotation. Okay, that's a stop. Let me see if I can get this a little bit closer to zero. Let's just put it it should stay. Okay, we'll call that 10. I think you can see that. Okay, back the other way. And I've got 34. So that's 44 divided by 2 is 22. So, make sure I'm up against the stop. I am. Oh, wait a minute. What did I say? 34. Yeah, that's 34. Okay, so 34 and 10 divided by 4, or 44 divided by 2 is 22. So I'm just going to move my pointer down here. Okay, 22. Now we'll go back the other way. 22. How about that? Okay. Let me pull my stop out. Okay, pull the stop out, and we'll put our dial indicator in. Okay. Now, it's going to be kind of difficult to keep up with this, but I will try. Okay, so we're going to go in the direction of travel, which is that way. And it gets kind of hard to do this. Oops. I'll go back a little bit. Come back up to it. It's touchy. Okay. We're at top dead center, and we're about one degree off of zero there. Now, we're going to run this back to before top dead center. Let me see here. I'm going to go back the other way. I think I moved it again. Let me find top dead center again. It's difficult this way, it really is. Okay, now I'm going to go back. There's one. And there's two. And we're at about 20, 21 or 22 degrees. So that proofs out. Now, let's see if I can remove this without disturbing anything. It ought to be close, even if I do. Okay, it's right on the money. Right there. So our location is right, the way I see it. And I went, let me show you here in the book. This is 86 to 76 Yamaha climber. And it shows YZ125 at 2 millimeters before top dead center. And we're right there. I mean, it's timed exactly the way the other engine is. It's just a different ignition. So I guess what I was thinking was we were going to be like 180 off or something, but it's right on. So, you know, I just had an epiphany. I have the 360 MX, the AT-2 MX motor in my flat tracker, and it has the exact same ignition. It's a little bigger, but the coil on it would be, I would think it would be compatible with this type ignition. Let me go see if I can get that off, and we'll try that. That way we'll know that we have a CDI coil for a CDI ignition. So let me go do that. And one other thing I want to point out is this book, it's showing a different style. This is a different setup, and the rotor is a little different because it's got a step right here. I hate going by pictures because they're, you know, this is saying 68 to 76, 80 through 175 cc. It could be any of those. And, you know, I didn't take what I got off of the bike. I'm just going by what they told me, which is not a good idea either. So if this coil doesn't work, then I'm just assuming maybe I've got the wrong ignition set. And I've seen these, but I thought that they were, I want to say 76 up. And this goes to 76. So I guess let's not worry about that right now. We've verified what we need to verify. Let me go ahead and get this other coil set up, and we'll just try it, see. That's all we can do. Okay, I've got the one off my 360 MX hooked up here, and we're wired in to everything. So I guess it's just all we can do is try it. Okay. Get our bottle back on. Okay, I think we got it. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta get this stand out from underneath it. I can't kick it. All right, now let's see what we can do. All right, still the same. Okay guys, I just want to show you some of the stuff that I've been looking at here. Okay, the ignition coil. It gives me the number of it, and this is of course MX 250/360, and it's a CM 61-20 M, I guess. Now I went out and I got, this is the one off my flat tractor, and it's the CM 61-20. Doesn't say M on it, but it runs fine on the flat track motorcycle. Now another thing is this the CDI model TIA 01-02. I just noticed that's probably why I have this one. It is TIA 01-02, and this is for this my 360. So that's probably why I've got that one. There's probably no sense in trying to hook that one up because it's not made for the 125. Now, so this coil and that box go together, and it tells me here that you turn the crankshaft in the normal direction and locate top dead center, then set the 0 mark on the dial to the needle, and then turn the rotor in direction opposite to the turning direction of the crankshaft and align the pulsar match mark and the rotor match mark when the dial indicates, again, this is on the 250, 360, 500. But the 125, it tells me to do the same thing. And it says if you can't quite line it up, then you can loosen the pulsar and move it to make the adjustment. And we're not having to do that. Everything's okay there. We're able to do it with the slots that I have in the backing plate. But this is the only information that I've been able to come up with so far that deal with this type of ignition. And this is all the MX stuff, and this may be off an MX2, 125. But from what I understand, the MX 125 had point ignition. If somebody knows something that I don't, which I'm positive that people do know a lot more stuff than I do. But anyhow, that's, I just wanted to show you that. And it's again on this the bigger bikes here. It's showing me all the wiring diagrams and everything. And this is a Yamaha MX series and service manual. And I've got some others here. I've been through this one. I think I'm gonna do some more looking. I've got this one, of course. I've got some service bulletins and some supplementary information, and of course just the service manual. So I'm going to be going over a lot of this stuff and trying to just double check wiring and that sort of thing. Anyhow, I sure appreciate everybody's suggestions, and it really means a lot to me that everybody's wanting to help. I just haven't, I'm not well versed in CDI. I've loved it as long as it worked. And I certainly know that it's better in so many ways. But I just need a little help in that area because I just haven't messed with it. But we're gonna keep going. I know we're gonna find a solution to this, and it's probably going to be some really simple thing. We know that it runs good with the point type ignition. So we know the engine and basically the carburation is sound. So there's something when we put this ignition on there's something there that's causing the issue. 1.2, when I was doing the Uh, degreeing it in, I know that I had this backwards. Doesn't make any difference. I was still had my 20 degrees or whatever on both sides, so it was lined up. But I knew that was off. It, you know, most people would have set it over here. I'm not most people. I just get going on something and I do it. But that shouldn't make any difference at all. It was still centered. We went stop to stop, and everything was as it should be. So I think that we're in good shape, and you know, it was off a little bit, but not enough to make a difference. So I'm assuming that probably the degree was probably the most correct, but it's only off a couple of degrees, if that, and that's not going to make the difference that we're seeing here, that this thing won't even rev to 2,000 RPM. And when we took the degree wheel off, we saw that the lines were perfectly lined up. So what we're doing here, as far as the millimeters before top dead center and what we're getting here are basically the same. You know, I'm glad that we did it because it double checks the other one, and so we know that we're okay. We know that this stator doesn't need to be turned the other way or something. So that's the way it should be. So now all we've got to do is get in here and try to find a solution to the problem. I think I covered almost everything that people had suggested today. There may be a couple things that I didn't get to, but we're not done with it. After you view tonight's episode, you know, if something else comes to mind or something, by all means, put it in the comments or send me an email or whatever. My email address is, when you go to YouTube, go to the About page, and you drop down, and I think it says for business inquiries, click here or whatever, and as soon as you click that, you get my email address. And I think you have to say I'm not a robot or something like that. But anyhow, you can send an email, or you can just put comments in the comments section. It doesn't matter. But anyhow, I know we're going to find a solution. It's probably going to be a stupid little simple thing, but as of right now, it's got me kind of tearing my hair out, and I don't have a lot to tear out anymore, at least not on the front. So anyhow, thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.